Hello everybody, this is Graeme Anderson, and today I'm going to be looking at Treasure Lair. Now when I first saw this box cover and the name, my first thought was that it looks like every other generic fantasy game. So I decided to have a look at the back of the box to see what this game is about. And unfortunately, it still sounds like a pretty generic game. Lairs with vast treasure await heroes who have the courage and wits to overcome the dangers that lurk within. Yep, sounds pretty generic to me. Now this is a game where players will be selecting actions to get cards that represent the different characters in the game, to hopefully create a powerful enough parties to go on quests and hopefully win some treasures. Unfortunately, even with that, it sounds like many other games I've played. So, is this one a diamond in the rough, or a game that should be left and forgotten? Let's get it to the table to see how it's played, and we'll come back for my final thoughts on Treasure Lair. Here's Treasure Lair set up for 3 players. Each player is dealt a random starting hero, making sure that at least one person gets the rogue character, which designates the first player. Shuffle the decks, the challenge deck, the hero deck, the action deck, and the treasure cards deck. Each player is given 3 cards off the challenge deck. When these are face down in front of the players, they represent coins. Then, draw 3 hero cards face up in the middle of the table, and then draw the top 3 action cards. Next, we need to set up 3 quests. Now first, before we do the quest, let's have a quick look at some of the cards that make up the quests. First, there's the treasure cards, and they will have a number of treasures on them, and these are what you need to win the game. They also have a number in the top left-hand corner which signifies the difficulty of this quest. The challenge cards are split up into 3 types: monsters, encounters, and locations. Each of them will have 1 to 3 symbols, and there are 3 symbols per type. So there are 3 monster symbols, 3 encounter symbols, and 3 location symbols, but not all of them will be on every card. To create a quest, draw a treasure card noting its difficulty. So here we have a difficulty of 5. This means we have to have 5 different symbols from challenge cards for this quest. First we place 1 face down challenge card on the treasure. Then we start adding face up challenge cards until we have the number of different symbols as the difficulty from the treasure card. It's okay to have duplicate symbols on different cards, but the symbol only counts once towards the difficulty. If you ever have 2 challenge cards which are identical in symbols, discard one of them. Once you have all 3 quests set up, you're ready to start. The rogue player will be the first player and they will pick one of the action cards. You must do the top part of the action card. Then you must pick one of the actions on the bottom. Now the bottom actions are the same on every card, so let's go through them. If you choose to gain 1 gold, draw the top card from the challenge deck and place it face down in front of you. If you choose to recruit heroes, you can spend the gold in front of you to purchase heroes from the middle of the table. You pay the price in the top right hand corner. If any of them have an instant power, it happens as soon as you purchase them. When you recruit a hero, replace it right away in the middle of the table. You can recruit as many heroes as you wish during your turn. Just remember at the end of your turn you can have a maximum of 5 gold and 5 heroes in front of you. The last secondary action is to begin a quest. You will select the heroes in front of you that you want to participate in one of the quests, and move them forward to designate that these are the ones you're sending. Pick one of the 3 quests and start at the top challenge card. You need to match the challenge symbols with the symbols in your party. If your party does not have a particular symbol, you can always pay 3 coins to skip that symbol once. When you have satisfied all the symbols on that challenge card, take it and place it face down in front of you as gold and move on to the next challenge card. Now challenges are defeated in order, and participating heroes can use their symbols for each challenge card. When you get to the hidden challenge, flip it over and attempt it. If you succeed, take it as gold and take the treasure card. If you fail any of the challenges, you keep the challenges you have previously passed, but the rest, including the treasure cards, are discarded. Once the quest is finished, either successfully or unsuccessfully, you will need to discard all heroes who participated in the quest, and you're going to add a 3rd quest back using the same way as we previously discussed. Now each treasure at the end of a quest is worth a certain number of treasure. In a 3-player game, when someone reaches 6 treasures in total, all other players get 1 final turn, then the player with the most treasure wins. So that's how you play. Let's get back to see what I thought about Treasure Lair. So, as always, let's start off with the theme and components. The theme of the game is, well, you know what, it's pretty generic and really not there. You're supposed to be creating a party to go on quest to get treasure, which is okay, but the party only stays together for 1 quest, and the questing is just matching symbols. So an ogre needs a sword to kill it, but an axe won't do. Not sure I get the thematic link for that. But it's a card game, and the theme, it works, even if the game is not brimming with thematic elements. So on to the components. The game is all cards, and they are pretty good quality at that. And there's one thing I have to call out that I really appreciate in a game that's all cards, and that is there are 64 hero cards and 90 challenge cards. And every single one of them is a different name and a different piece of art on, the 64 hero cards and 90 challenge cards. And you know what? The art is really well done. The gameplay may not be thematic, but the art in the cards definitely tries to put some theme into the game. Even on the symbols on the cards themselves are little nice pieces of art. It's really well done. The only question, though, I have is, with all the art in the game, why are the treasure cards all identical? I would have loved to see different treasure cards represent the different hoards of, gold and jewels and whatever else. It just seems odd that with all the art on the cards, the treasures just aren't that artful. I just feel it's a minor missed opportunity. The rulebook is pretty good and explains the setup and gameplay with a few examples, and the back of the book covers all the more complex abilities of the cards. So let's go on to the gameplay. Now, as you saw from the overview, it's pretty straightforward. Select an action card, do the main action, then do one of the secondary actions. The main actions are pretty straightforward as well. Discard a location, discard and redraw heroes, draw 2 heroes and recruit one for free and give one to another player. Standard stuff. And unfortunately, a bit of a boring piece to the game. The more interesting aspect comes into play with the heroes. They have, their special abilities. But although less than 50% of the heroes have special abilities, and even some of those are duplicated, they do add a little something to the game, and their abilities can make you think of how best to use them. For example, there was a hero that allows you to draw an action card and choose from one of the 4 instead of 3. Now, he is handy to have, so I tried to make sure that I never sent him on a quest. But with a very limited hand size of 5 heroes and 5 gold at the end of your turn, juggling the right heroes can be a little tricky, and there is some thought to be put into that. And the idea of gaining gold as you go through the quest and being able to use that same gold later on in the same quest to bypass a symbol was an interesting aspect. So you don't have to wait until you get the perfect group together, but if you could beat the first 2 or 3 challenges, you can use 3 gold to skip a symbol. That often worked out well, as maybe you can jump on to complete a quest before someone else did if you had enough gold. Or you're going to be getting enough gold during the quest to skip some of the symbols you don't have. Unfortunately, though, there was not enough interesting and different main actions, and really combined with the too few special abilities on the heroes to keep that part of the gameplay interesting. This leads to ultimately the game feeling repetitive and a little boring as you're kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now, the game does end at a decent time. If you're playing with a full complement of 4 players, you need to get 5 treasures. And that's usually going to be the first person to get 2 quests, which feels about right, and it lasts about 30 minutes. And even with 2 players, you need 7 treasures. Again, it's going to last about 20 to 30 minutes. So where would I recommend this game? Now, I do like the art, and I did actually enjoy the main mechanism for a while. And the ability to skip missing symbols with gold was definitely an added bonus. The main actions and special hero abilities were interesting for a bit, and the gameplay does last a good length of time, and it's easy to teach and get played. But ultimately, the game is just too light for me, and I always left the game saying that was fun, but I wanted more. More actions, more special abilities, more, maybe some challenges that weren't just matching symbols. I understand that this is supposed to be a light game, but there's really not enough in this game to raise it up and make it stand out amongst all the others. So I think I would ultimately not recommend this game and give it a 6 out of 10. Although there is some fun to be had, it just left me feeling that the game was somewhat lacking. Not a bad game, but one that will be, unfortunately, forgotten. And that's it for the moment. Until next time, thanks for watching.